So how do I explain Islam to my family? When we convert to Islam, our lives take a new path. We choose a path of worshipping our only Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This implies that our way of thinking and living also changes. What we need to understand is that our families are also suddenly undergoing a drastic change in their lives, and change often means fear of the unknown or the fear of losing the person whom you love. Some of us have been given the amazing gift of having a comprehensive family that accepts our choice of Islam. However, some of us have been given the challenge of families that do not accept Islam or anything that has to do with it. So the combination of communication, patience, and reliance upon Allah are crucial for this type of situation. Communicate how you feel and why you feel that way. Talk about your choices, about your faith, about what is really going on in your heart. All of this without losing your patience. A great example is our Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, who lived for 950 years and didn't want to give up on his people. So all this coupled with reliance upon Allah will make you understand that you just try your best, but at the end it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who grants success to whom He wills. I've learned with the years that talking to someone about something controversial is not that easy. It can really quickly turn into an unpleasant moment. And this is why it is important to really understand the big difference between a discussion and an argument. At first sight, it might seem logical, but while interacting in the heat of the moment, that line doesn't seem so clear anymore. In brief, when you're having an argument, it's more to find out who is right, and when you discuss something, it's more about what is right. When we are convinced of something which we find amazing, we have the tendency of wanting to share it with a lot of people, especially with our loved ones. We hope to get through their hearts so that they can appreciate the beauty of it. What we often miss out is perceiving if that person is receptive or not. When the person you're talking to, whether it is your mother, father, brother, it doesn't matter, they have to be receptive and thus open for understanding why you made that choice. If they are not, then it's the same as if you're talking to a wall. And the mistake we often make is thinking that we are the ones that can turn the hearts of people, or that we can guide them with our words. And the reality is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that knows what is truly in our hearts, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that can give guidance. We can only spread the message and hope for the best, but at the end it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who decides. Understanding this took me a lot of time, but once you've internalized this, you will find more peace while interacting. The strange part is when you surrender and accept that you have control over nothing, things go much more smoothly. We learn to let go, we learn to trust God's plan, and that we're okay no matter what happens. Also, a pitfall that converts often fall into is the so-called never-ending loop of questions, where we don't seem to find our way out. And honestly, it's not only converts that fall into this, but Muslims generally. And the sad truth behind is that those questions are not even being asked to understand our choices or what Islam is really about. Sometimes it's just to drive you into a corner. In fact, it becomes an ego war, and I can guarantee you there will be no winner. You have questions as, do you really have to wear that scarf on your head? Do you think you're a better person than me now? Is this what I get in return for raising you? So you think you know the truth because you're special? Or you have other questions as, why sacrifice yourself by praying 5 times a day? How do you know it was not a random person that wrote all that stuff? How can you follow a religion that was spread with the sword? All those questions can seem familiar to converse, and honestly, often you can already know where the conversation is heading to just by listening how the questions are being asked. Of course, the questions may vary whether your parents are Christians, atheists, and so on, but the bottom line is the same. It's important not to fall into this trap. Taking the lead of the conversation is important to gain control of the situation. Don't try to answer all the questions at once, but just pick the questions where you feel comfortable of answering. It's not a shame not to know everything. It's normal because you're on a learning process. It humbles you when you're sincere about it. And that's why it's crucial to know when to stop. And last but not least, we have to remain calm during a conversation. Whenever we don't feel heard, we tend to raise our voice in the hope of being heard. Every time that you feel this way, maybe it's better just to take a step back and a deep breath. Try to understand that your family, friend is feeling scared. Scared of losing you, scared of not sharing the same interest anymore, scared that you leave certain traditions behind, scared that you make the wrong decisions, or even scared of being judged by you. So we have to fill our hearts with love, patience, and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't rush anything and try to observe when the person in front of you is receptive, and if not, just know when to stop without losing hope. We sometimes easily condemn people eternally to disbelief, or we give up on them after failing to see the fruits of our call. Yet every day we receive from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is another chance for all of us, and I repeat, for all of us.